morning, Dave Weiss with the AmokArts.com video blog of the day. I wanted to ask you guys for prayer before we really get started here for next week. I'm going to do a church planning conference. I'm going to a church planning conference to learn some new tips and ideas and things for reaching out to our community and helping my church to grow, hopefully. And Lord willing, that's what I'm going to be doing. And I've been asked to share some of my artwork in some of the worship services over the course of the conference. And I'm really excited about it, and I ask for your prayers for it. And there's something else for this coming week that I'm really excited about as well. I'm going to get the opportunity to paint and preach in a church. And it's not just any church, it's the church that's pastored by the man who was my pastor when I first came to Christ. And he's a man who's been very influential in my life. His name's Bill Waugh, and I'm really excited to go there, and it's the first time I think he'll ever hear me preach, and I'm really excited about being there. And as I was thinking about all these things, and last night when we were at church in Bible study, we were looking at 1 Thessalonians 2. And there are these two verses that really kind of set in mind what I'm thinking about here today. It says, "For what is our hope, our joy, or the crown in which we will glory in the presence of our Lord Jesus when he comes? Is it not you? Indeed, you are our glory and joy." And you know, as I was thinking about that verse, I started to think about my relationship with Bill. When I first came to Christ, I was 22 years old. I had been through some different stuff, and the Lord really got a hold of me. And Bill's the guy who prayed with me to receive Christ, and it's just an awesome guy, an awesome influence in my life. And as soon as I came to Christ, as soon as I joined the church, the first thing they did was plug me into a ministry. And folks, that is really important, that we get people plugged in right away, that they feel like they have a function in the church, that they have ownership in the church. It's so important. There was a problem with it, though, and that problem was that they made me a trustee. They looked at me, they said, I'm 22 years old, I'm young, kind of on the, kind of strong, I guess, and they figured I must be good with tools. Well, the truth of the matter is, trustees are the ones who maintain the building, and I am not great with mechanical things. I'm just not, I mean, I can do it, I struggle through with it, but I can do it, but I'm not very good at it. And so I was kind of the guy who I really didn't fit with what I was doing. And I was getting kind of frustrated. I was trying to serve, trying to do the best I can. And the guys around me, the other trustees, were nice to me and helpful to me. But I could tell I wasn't really doing things well. And Bill kind of looked at me, and he looked at my gifting. And he asked me to paint backdrops for Vacation Bible School. We always did a skit, and there was always this backdrop that sort of set the tone for everything and sort of gave the kids an idea of the place where the skit was supposed to be happening. And guys, when I did that, I flourished. Because I already knew how to do it. I was already pretty good at it. I had gifting in that area. And God used this in amazing ways. When I think about how far God has taken me, a lot of it comes back to that one thing. Because from doing the backdrops, eventually I started to participate in the skits. And, I was a person who was terrified to speak in public. But doing these skits kind of opened the door for me a little bit. And after a while, after the Lord did some major work on my life, I started doing youth ministry. And from youth ministry, I ended up preaching. And from preaching and all this other stuff, I started to look for ideas and ways to use my gifts to serve the Lord. And it all came back once again to using art in the church. Guys, a lot of this stuff has happened in my life. A lot of the things that you see me doing, a lot of the things that are on this video blog, and a lot of all these other things, and those of you who've been following me and see my work, you'll realize that that one event, that one guy having a look at me and seeing what I could do, really not only changed my life, but ended up using me to speak to people all over the place. And I take no pride in that. I take no glory in that. I know it's all the work of God in my life. And yet what I'm trying to show you, and hopefully what you're seeing, is that there are awesome opportunities in the church for people. And we need to help people find their gifting and develop it and use it to the glory of God. Again, I don't know if I'm Bill's glory and joy, and I don't want to claim that for myself anyway. But what is pretty clear is that when the way God used him in my life is allowing me to be used by God in other people's lives. Church leaders, I hope the folks that watch us on a regular basis will share this with their church leaders. Because what I want to say to church leaders is this. I know if you're anything like me, I'm a pastor. I look and I see all these populations of people that I would love to be reaching with the gospel. And I realize that they may not hear this from me. And I struggle and I'm frustrated because I don't know how to reach them. And what I should be doing, and maybe what you should be doing, is looking to your pews. Because there are probably people in your pews who would love to serve, who think because they don't preach, because they're terrified of public speaking, as most people are, or they don't play an instrument and they don't sing, they don't think there's any use for them in the church. And what we have to do is we have to show them, and we have to find ways for them to take what they've been given and use it to the glory of God. I really believe that a lot of the problems in this world would be solved if there was a way, if we could find the way to motivate the people in our pews to be what God created them to be. And let them go out and share what they have. And let God use them, that they might be God's glory and joy. So that's the thing that I want to impress upon the listeners today, is first of all, if you're not a church leader and you have a passion for using your gift, find a way to use it. Talk to your church leadership. Come under their authority and humbly serve. And ask them if there's a way you can use this gift. Go to them. And once they pick themselves off the floor in shock that somebody's coming to them and asking for something to do, I'm being a little facetious there, they hopefully will be able to find something for you to do. And church leaders, when you start looking at a population of people and you say, I wish I could reach them, start looking out at the people that sit before you week after week after week. And start looking to their giftings and their abilities and ask God how they could be used to reach that population. There are people in your church who can get to places where you can't necessarily go. There are people in your church who can get to people that you might not break through to. Find them. Ask God to help you find them. And ask God to help you use them in ways that fit what He made them to be. May God bless you all as you find your gift and find those who are gifted to do what God wants done.